So take a look at California, Denver, Colorado to start heading into the office at least twice a week. Company leadership calls the structured hybrid approach most effective. So there you go. The most effective hybrid approach. And then a home in Connecticut has sold for $138.8 million, making it the most expensive residential property ever sold. The 13,500 square foot waterfront estate located in Greenwich features a main house and 8 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms surrounded by walled garden, a pool, a tennis court, apple orchard, and 2 private beaches. There is also a carriage house, a gatehouse, a pool house, and 2 greenhouses. The buyer has not been identified, but wait, it's not the first record for the property. In 2014, it sold for $120 million, making it the most expensive home ever sold in the U.S. That record held until 2019 when the hedge funder Ken Griffin dropped $238 million property for Manhattan. So how is $138 million? Oh, residential sold in the state. Okay, I love the play on words. I guess that's going to be part of the cruciality there. In regards of what's going on. I mean, I don't know. Is it important to you that this is the most expensive house ever sold in a state of whatever? I mean, it doesn't change anything for you, does it? It's kind of a weird story. Look at me. I have the most expensive home that I've ever sold. I mean, it gets weird. Things like that to me get just strange in regards of when we start talking about them. What do you think? Just some stuff, my friends. Just some stuff. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things real quick. Last week, the U.S. government said that Russia is looking to buy more ammunition from North Korea, so it continues its invasion of Ukraine. North Korea dictator Kim Jong-un Jr. has ordered the factories to expand their production of all kinds of weapons, including rocket launchers and ballistic missiles. Jr. visited multiple weapons manufacturing facilities late last week. On July the 27th, Jr. hosted a Russian defense minister for an extensive military parade celebrating the 70th anniversary and the end of the Korean War. So there you go. I mean, I guess if you're going to go there, is that really the kind of celebration that you want to see? I mean, I don't know. It seems like the more we hang out, the stranger our life gets in regards to what we're talking about. I mean, I'm just telling you. I have no doubt about it that we are getting in more and more into the world of the strange. No doubt here as we are talking. What do you think? I mean, some of the news stories that pop up as of late have been what I would call mind-boggling in that particular regards. Because listen, there are stories that happen, like I could have never fathomed as a child that we would be having news stories that we're definitely talking about AI and invasion plots. I mean, I guess to some extent you go, okay, well, damn, I did watch Terminator, so I guess I should have expected something along those lines. But man, at this time too, it's like, didn't we know ahead of time that this is not something we should be jacking around with? I mean, I'm just saying.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
I'm trying to be something, all right, that's for sure. So there you go. A lot of stuff right there. Let's continue talking about some other things. When your flight is running late, it's almost never the fault of the flight crew, but what about the escaped bear? Yeah, take a listen to this. Captain of Iraqi Airways flight from Baghdad ordered all passengers to get off the plane after a bear in the cargo hold managed to escape, and authorities had to bring the specialist to sedate him. The Associated Press points that the wealthy elite in Iraq often adopt exotic pets as status symbols, and such private ownership of a bear is not uncommon. Could be worse. One passenger took to social media to complain about the delay, but noted they only had an hour late for taking off. This is via Associated Press. I mean, think about that for a moment. You're inside of a plane and you're told, well, let's take a look. We are going to have to stop the plane before we take off because it really never started because there's there's a bear that escaped. I mean, that's a weird one. That is a weird a weird conversation. There is no doubt about that. So think about that as we are talking. Anyways, let's take a look at some things that are going on inside of the world of the news. Take a listen to this. New York City is now using recreation centers at Brooklyn parks to house migrants. Paul DeCastro has more.
The city is relocating asylum seekers to temporary shelters at Sunset Park and McCarran Park in Williamsburg. It means all of the asylum seekers who were sleeping outside the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan now have temporary housing. City officials say the McCarran Park Rec Center will house around 80 migrants, while at least 100 migrants will be housed at the Sunset Park Recreation Center. It's not clear how long the two buildings will be used as shelters. Paul DeCastro, NBC News Radio, New York.
I mean, let's just be realistic. Temporary could mean a lot of different things depending on who you're talking to. There is no doubt about that. Because what does temporary mean to you? I mean, think about it. We say, okay, we're doing this temporary, but what's going on? I mean, there is just a world of change when it comes to that stuff. A lot of people think of temporary. I mean, I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine and him telling me that he had asked people temporary and how long it meant. And they told him, well, 25 years, but there's not a limit. Like, seriously. So just some stuff to think about for sure. What do you think about when it comes to temporary? When you tell somebody at your job, we're just going to do this temporarily, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. So there you go. Okay, let's continue talking about some other stuff because that's what we do. We do all the other stuff for sure. So. I think it's kind of funny that this thing is not letting me change this over, but whatever. Can't really do much at the moment. Just life will go on, dear John. Okay, what else? Let's take a look. The search of a missing 20-year-old old autistic man in Brooklyn. Take a listen to this.
Police say Gannett Suleiman was last seen Friday afternoon at his home on 65th Street in Bensonhurst. Suleiman is nonverbal and autistic. He's 5'7" and weighs around 120 pounds with brown eyes and black hair. Cops say Suleiman was last seen wearing a gray shirt, blue jeans, and no shoes. Paul DeCastro, NBC News Radio, New York.
Okay, Paul DeCastro, thank you for the information. Let's do this. Let's bring some John Smalls into our life. Let him tell us what the hell's going on with the market. Take a listen.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, August 7th, brought to you by GenesisGoldIRA.com. A weaker than expected jobs report lifted the market. The contrarian logic is that weakening employment numbers will give the Federal Reserve room to pause its campaign of raising interest rates. However, after a strong rally to start the day, stocks closed the week slightly lower. High bond yields have been pushing buyers away from stocks. Last week was a net win for the bears, and it sets the stage for economic data coming in this week. Palantir will deliver its quarterly earnings Monday, which is expected to be a market-moving report. Investors will also get more information about the direction of inflation when the Consumer Price Index and Producer Price Index are released. These reports could point to a continued downward trend, but investors should be cautious because it's likely that rising oil prices are not yet priced in. You can get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at MarketBeatMinute.com.
I think you are right, John. I don't think that we're factoring in yet the prices of what we're going to be paying because of what we're paying at the pump. There is no doubt about that. Anyways, the Dow lost about 150 points to close at 35,065 on Friday. The S&P lost about 23 points to close at 4,478, and the NASDAQ lost about 50 points. West Texas Intermediate closed at $83 a barrel, and Brent crude was at $86 a barrel. The national average price of a gallon of gas was $3.82 on Sunday, and Bitcoin was mostly flat over the weekend at $29,000 even. And then there was about 6,250 flights delayed within, into, and out of the United States on Sunday, and about 260 such cancellations. So there you go. Tuesday night's Mega Million drawing will be for a $1.55 billion jackpot, or a $757.2 million cash payout. Tonight's Powerball drawing will be for a $145 million jackpot, or a $71.1 million cash payout. So there you go. If you want to play the game, you have the opportunity to do so. No doubt about that as we are talking. I mean, why would you not play the game if you have the opportunity? It's an opportunity to play something if you want to play. If you don't want to play, you don't have to play. Isn't that great how that works? So let's talk about this because there are news stories of just 2 days counting will be the drawing for $1.5 billion jackpot. Listen to Trey Thomas.
It's been almost 4 months since the last Mega Millions winner. And after Friday night's drawing, the jackpot rolled up to $1.55 billion. That would make it the largest Mega Millions jackpot in history. And the third biggest in U.S. lottery history. The lump sum payment is estimated at more than $757 million. I'm Trey Thomas.
So think about that. How many people are going to be like, wow, this is the craziest and the craziest, because it's just going to be. It's kind of the way that it goes when it comes to stuff. Is this going to cause you to want to play the game or not? I mean, I don't know. Some people get very excited about this. So let's talk real quick about some other stuff. Let's talk about the box office and what that looked like, because some people want to know. At number 10 was Elemental at $1.2 million. At number 9 was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny with $1.5 billion. At number 8 was Talk to Me with $6.2 billion. At number 7, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 with $6.4 million. At number 6, Sound of Freedom, $7 million. Number 5, Haunted Mansion, $8.9 million. At number 4 was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, $28 million. At number 3 was Oppenheimer with $28.7 million. At number 2 was Meg 2. With $30 million, and at the number 1 spot and stayed there, I think for the third week in a row, was Barbie with $53 million. So there you go. A lot of stuff going on inside of that world as we are talking. So there you go. Yep. So let's do this. It is currently 32 minutes past the top of the hour. I'm feeling a little phenomenal right now. Yeah. So let's do this. Let's talk about what the hell is going on with our story of the main of the story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Oh, main story time. Some of the favorite stuff to talk about. Because look, listen, learn. When it comes to main stories, we have to talk about everything that's going on, not just part of the stuff that's going on. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to talk about part opposed to the full. So look at it this way. But before we get into this, maybe we should have a little bit more details of what to talk about. Maybe we should focus a little bit more on things that are going on. Here is a common thing that I hear people talk about, and it's a common issue that people want to know, and it's a common issue that we go, okay, well, how do we handle this? You know, when you're at work and things pass between the professional to the personal line. Listen, I feel, and it's a feelings moment, you know, that I like to have from time to time here. I feel that from time to time, you're going to have some weird conversations at work. And I'm talking about things that are occurring and you're not going to agree with everything that's going on. But what happens when you have that moment, that conversation on where you're not agreeing with something on goes from the professional to the personal? And listen, some people are going to go, hold on, you're talking about a totally different subject matter here, opposed to the norm. And yeah, I would say that. I would say that's exactly what I'm doing to some extent. But you have to look at it and go, these things do happen at work. And I'm not talking about, hey, I'm trying to have a relationship with someone inside of work. I'm talking about, hey, not agreeing on stuff and then turning around and going, okay, our agreement is this. We don't like each other and we have disagreed. And all of a sudden now we have taken it to a new level. And tell me that this is not the occasion, because I can tell you of reports that I have read, things that I have seen of where someone will take somebody else out at work. And I don't mean that as dating. I'm talking about taking their lives. It's not as common as you think, but it does happen. And I look at stuff like that and I go, how does it get to that level? How does it get to that point where people go, hey, this is what's going on. This is what has occurred. Like, how does that happen, number one? Number two, into the whole scenario, when something like this happens, how did it get to that point? And people are going to go, well, this is not a common thing, so why are we talking about it? Well, because that's the thing. We want to talk about the uncommon because we don't want to make it common. It's just, I will tell you, there was the place that I worked at not so long ago, and there was a CTO, Chief Technical Officer, that decided to bring his guns to work and had talked about that he had brought these guns and how there was people inside of this office that he did not like, which is just weird. And it all stemmed from going from the professional conversations to that he felt that the people had crossed the line with him. So what do you do? What do you do in these scenarios? Because you know that things have already gotten strange. You know that the things have gotten to that world where you go, okay, well now I'm kind of in that shit zone. So what do I do here? So just stuff to think about. Like when this comes into your mind and you're hearing about this, have you had or have you seen a scenario at your place of employment that something similar has occurred? Not necessarily with the guns, but you know that the line has been crossed. I've seen some weird crap at some of these job places. And I'm talking like weird. I'm talking about, hey, I work with this person, but this person is sleeping with this person's wife or spouse, however you want to take a look at it. And the spouse doesn't work there, but I met you through that other person, and this is what's going on. It's just weird scenarios. And I'm not saying you shouldn't have people that you interact with outside of work that you work with, but how does things get so convoluted from time to time where things will go way into the deep end? Like, what can you say to someone inside of the workspace that all of a sudden does that flip? And you know what I'm talking about. There's been moments in life where you feel personally insulted by something that someone has told you at the job, because how personally you're invested into whatever X item is. It's just a weird scenario. So how do we look at that? How do we talk about that and make that common practice that we go, okay, we need to have these considerations of, hey, if things get out of the realm of norm, or the realm of normal, worded that way, that we need to know that you can come and talk to us. Like, seriously. It's just a very strange time with some very strange things. Think about this. This might be one of the weirdest news stories or main stories that we've done here, but it's something to truly think about because you can't sit around and go that it doesn't happen because it does.
Oops! What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You're listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and we're not 100% sure on what they meant. Things is mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Pop quiz hotshot. During a heat wave, what's more important, air conditioning or air guitar?
Is it air conditioning?
Air guitar. The answer is always air guitar.
There you go, Saturday Night Summer Lights. This still is the Rated R Safety Show. Our #1 of the Jay Allen in the Morning Show. We are coming across on Radio Big and on Safety FM. This little song right here, this is by the Wolf Club. This is Summer Lights. You can give it some streaming action if you'd like to. Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify. Yeah, this is that synth-pop duo based in the UK, giving a deep feeling of nostalgia with some of the sounds, with captivating and uniquely to their own. You see, this is the problem that I run into. I start a song and I don't want to stop it. Yep, there you go. Okay. Okay, so let's get back into the move and the groove of everything. Would like to thank Woof Club for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. So let me tell you about the most important thing that I will tell you ever in my lifetime, and that's about my friends on To Right Love on Her Arms. No joke about that as I say this. Listen, there's all kinds of information that you can get from them about the movement, about the things that should be done. I mean, just simple stuff like this. Take a listen to this. 2/3 of people who struggle with depression do not seek help. 2/3. So more than 50% of people who die by suicide suffer from major depression. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among people ages 15 to 29. 15 to 29. So I will continue to tell you the same thing. I will continue to talk about this. So if you haven't done so, I would recommend strongly to download this little app right here. It's called The Hopeful. You can have the information directly onto your phone in regards of, some inspirational quotes, some things to take a look at. Also, it will give you direct access to the resources that are available at To Right Love on Her Arms. Or if not, you can just go to their website, twloha.com. That's twloha.com. Click on the section that says Find Help. Most important thing that I will tell you in my lifetime. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. No matter what. Regardless, there is nothing that's going on where you don't deserve to be connected to help. Seriously. I interact and I talk to people and they're like, well, maybe my thing's not as important as the next. No, maybe your thing is the most important thing that's going on. Seriously. Think about it for a moment. Give it consideration. twloha.com. So there you go. We're going to talk about this all the time. This is not a once and done. This is not we're going to talk about this and then party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. And life is finished among those. So there you go. So anyways, with that being said, let's continue talking just a tidbit more. Before I forget, because I have not mentioned it, let's talk about this little thing. Yeah, it is coming up right around the corner. Conklin Conference, Safety Differently Workshop. Let's just really call it what it is. Yes, September the 27th through the 29th in Orlando, Florida. All you have to do to find out more information is go to safetyfm.io. You'll have the opportunity to come hang out with Jen Long, Bob Edwards, Mark Yeston, Andrea Baker, and, of course, Todd Conklin. Them telling you about exactly what is going on in the world of human organizational performance. So to find out more, go to safetyfm.io. That's safetyfm.io for some more information on what the hell is going on. So there you go. Some interesting things happening inside of that world. There you go. So I don't know. I would love to see you in Orlando. safetyfm.io, more information. September the 27th through the 29th. Would love to see you here. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be a good time. It would be a good time for us to all hang out and see the world together on what is going on. Okay, so let's continue talking real quick about some other stuff because we need to do that. VA rideshare. Take a listen to this. Those who use rideshare services in Northern Virginia are being urged to be careful. Richard Sterling has more.
A string of crimes involving rideshare drivers and vehicles has prompted Fairfax County authorities to have customers use caution before setting out. 3 separate incidents have taken place this year in the county. A Bethesda, Maryland Uber driver is accused of sexually assaulting 2 women, while a DC Lyft driver is also accused of sexually abusing a customer in Georgetown. Riders are urged to verify the vehicle and driver, share trip details, always sit in a seat behind the driver, be aware of the route, and call 911 if they feel unsafe for any reason. I'm Richard Stelling.
Okay, thank you, Richard Stelling, for that. Take a listen to this. As we age, our brain function diminishes, but there is a simple way to delay the wear and tear on the brain.
Getting movement throughout your day.
Sharilyn Jackson with the Kansas City University Extension says moving your body is critical.
Helps improve the blood flow to the brain. That's really a key thing. Helps reduce inflammation. It helps to improve your cognitive health, meaning you can think more clearly, problem solve.
She adds that physical activity reduces the production of stress hormones, increases the rise of the feel-good hormones, and helps you sleep better. Jackson says the movement doesn't have strenuous to get the benefits, but getting out of the chair, walking around for about half an hour can work your brain wonders. Jackson says that moving your body throughout the day helps the production of the feel-good hormones.
It helps us sleep better. That, again, plays into cognitive health.
So there you go. The keys to success, my friends, in regards to that. Listen, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm kind of, I guess I'm late to the scene. I had a friend that for years has been telling me, listen, you need to start going on bike rides. There's just something about it that it changes everything for you. And I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Sure it does. I mean, I remember riding a bike all the time when I was a kid. So all of a sudden, a bike arrives to my door at my house. And hey, after years, I guess he figured that I was never going to get the bike, so he sent me a bike. And damn, was he right. Boy, was this dude right in regards to this bike riding thing. It has really changed the way that I look at a lot of things. There is no doubt about that. So there you go. Just get out and try something. Listen, for years I've been going to the gym. I can't say that I don't like it because I do like it. But it feels repetitive. It feels repetitive because I'm stuck in the same spot. So I don't know. The other thing that I really enjoy is doing mixed martial arts training. And you decide which martial arts that is, but I love the variability on how the most minute change in something can really have an effect on stuff. But that's going to take us into some deep rabbit holes, so maybe I shouldn't talk too much about that, unless we're going to get into some world of the weird, because that's where I think that's going to lead us as we continue talking about that. Let me talk about this one real quick before I get into some other stuff. A Florida man has recently been rescued from the Atlantic Ocean, is said to be in good spirits after going missing for nearly 2 days. Charles Gregory's mother was thankful that her son was found alive.
We cannot thank the Coast Guard, Fire Rescue, St. August, to everybody, the paddle boarders, everybody. We just want to say thank you so much.
The U.S. Coast Guard says that an air crew spotted Gregory floating in a small boat roughly 12 miles off the shore on Saturday before the crew pulled him from the water. His family had reported him missing on Friday, and after he didn't return from early morning fishing trip off the coast of St. Augustine. While Gregory was sunburned and dehydrated, he did not suffer any serious injuries. So, I mean, that's super important. Anyways, let's do this. Let's bring some John Smalls in for him to tell us about some motivation stuff.
The Motivation Minute is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Today's quote was submitted by Tom. Herculitis said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he is not the same man." I love this. Think about that for a moment. Every single day, we grow into a new person. The person we were yesterday will be different than the person we are tomorrow. And we get to decide if that person is a better person. We can choose to fill that time and fill our minds with positive information by reading things that expand our horizons. Or we could spend that time watching mindless television or playing video games that don't help. Now, I know that there are some that do, but for the most part, I think you'd be better served with a good book. This has been today's Motivation Minute, courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. They're known for insurance quotes. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
COVID cases are on the upswing. In San Diego County in California, 55 people with COVID went to the hospital on July 20th. That's an uptick over the past 2 weeks. The county has detected coronavirus in the wastewater. Experts say that's the most immediate signal of current spread in the community. This follows reports from the East Coast, where New York and New Jersey are seeing increased cases of COVID as well. TikTok is full of wacky trends that put people in harm's way. The latest suggests that slathering yourself in beer is the best way to get an even suntan.
Not only now you don't have protection, you're purposely inducing more damage.
Dr. Martin Kasser says that beer washes away any sunscreen, meaning you're exposed to harmful UV rays. Summer snake bites are on the rise in the U.S. An Emory University study says there's now a significant jump in the likelihood of being bitten by a snake when daily temperatures rise. It claims increased snake bites are one of the potential impacts of climate change. Researchers say the temperature effect for snake bites are higher than any other venomous creature. Health Update, Jonathan O'Halloran, NBC News Radio. radio.
What a weird world do we get in. Slather yourself in beer. There you go. I mean, what the hell is going on there? Anyways, take a listen to this. The site of the only documented exorcism in the U.S. is closing. Mark Mayfield has more.
I cast you out, unclean spirit. It is he who commands you.
According to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, the St. Alexis Hospital in St. Louis is filing for bankruptcy but has not given a closing date. The hospital was founded in 1869 and later became the basis for the book The Exorcist. It was decided in the late 1970s to demolish the wing of the hospital where the exorcism took place. I'm Mark Mayfield.
Okay, thank you, Mark Mayfield, for that. Boy, does that get interesting right away as we are talking, huh? So there you go. Anyways, let's take a look at some things that happened back on this date as I take a look around inside of the world, though. Let's see. In 2021, Kevin Durant earns a third and the Team USA's fourth consecutive Olympic men's gold medal. By a win of 87-82 with winning over France and the Tokyo Games. He scored 29 points in the game. That happened back in 2021. If you're looking at some birthdays for today, I have some of those for you. Jalen Hurts turns 25. Kyle Murray turns 26. Sasha Kaje turns 28. Delton Gomez, 28. DeMar DeRozan turns 34. Sidney Crosby, 36. Tina O'Brien turns 40. Charlize Theron turns 48. David Mann, 57. Maggie Wheeler, 62. Bruce Dickinson, 65. And Tobin Bell turns 81 today. If you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate, well, I have some of those for you as well. Let's see, particularly Preposterous Packaging Day, National Lighthouse Day, Aged Care Employee Day, Professional Speaker Day. That's all going on today if you're looking at some days of the year to celebrate. So there you go. Anyways, this is going to bring our show to an end. What I want to do is really play, longer version of that song for you. There is no doubt about that. Anyways, thank you for always being the most important part of Safety FM and Radio Big, and that is the listener, because without that, well, not really a point to do what we do around here. There is no doubt about it. Anyways, if I can leave you with a deep thought for today, I would love to leave you with this. Go out there and do the things that are important to you, because time stops for no one. Think about it. Anyways, I know who you are.
Duh.
You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.
If you